Hey y'all, what's up? We're back. Those wrestling girls, it's your girl Krista B.
And Queen P.R.
And today, yes, we know that we're a week late. But
We're
today
a
is
little late.
Thirsty
I'm
Thursday.
fine.
This is our Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just us two today because the ladies of Face Beat Hills High are life is lifing for them right now. But
Yep.
they're in our thoughts and our prayers. We're still gonna drink for them, we're
Always.
still gonna sip for them. Make sure you still follow them, support them, and everything that they're doing
We
today.
love y'all.
Love you, ladies.
And
Um,
Happy New Year to everyone. This is the first one, 2022.
This is technically still your birthday celebration.
It is. It is my birthday celebration still. It feels weird because it's January 20th, but life was lifing.
Life was
Shit
life.
was doing what it was doing, but I'm happy to finally celebrate. And I'm healthy. I'm blessed. You know what?
That's all
That's
that
all I
matters.
can really say. Everybody, welcome back to Thirsty Thursday. Thank you for tuning in.
And don't mind me because we do everything on the show. So I will be eating and drinking because I wouldn't be me if I can't. I
Drinking
wouldn't be me if I
sounds
can't.
fun.
Drinking sounds
Y'all gotta let us know. Hey Dre, what y'all are drinking in the comments, please. And we do have a special guest though today.
We do. We have a special guest today.
Honorary wrestling girl.
She's an honorary TWG for sure. She's been riding with us since day one. So if she's here, we're gonna introduce her. If not, we're just gonna wait and just catch up with y'all. Oh, she's here.
That was like
She's
fixing my
here.
hair. I'm sorry.
She right there.
Welcome, Seindole, everybody. She's here. She's rocking with us today.
Hey girl.
Oh wait,
Hey.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until.
Until we figure out what we're drinking? Until we
Yeah.
Okay, so we can start with what we're drinking. Me, I am drinking,
Yeah.
first of all, I got my little light bug. So cute.
Oh my god, that's so cute. What does it say?
It
Let me
says
see what
blessed
it
on
says.
it with a heart.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love
Thank
that.
you. I got it from Rainbow
That's
when I
so
was in
cute.
Miami. But yeah, it's just juice and Patron. That's all. No, sorry, not Patron. 1800.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Strawberry
I have.
peach something in 1800. So
That sounds refreshing, even though I had to lay off tequila recently, but that sounds refreshing.
it almost took you out.
Oof, took me out. That's so 2021. So now I'm back to my champagne. This used to be my Thirsty Thursday ritual. So I'm back to the bubbly with my monogram champagne glass for my birthday.
On my
Yeah.
birthday.
Go shout.
Oh, and then I don't
It's
know if
your
you have a wrestling
birthday.
shirt on, Krista, but I want to shout out Pretty Heels because I am rocking their merch on this fine evening. Shout out to Danielle, my baby. I love you.
I do not have
And
on a wrestling shirt. I had on my Tamina hoodie, but I was cooking in the kitchen with it on, and I got hot.
Yeah, you
Mm.
can't do
So
that.
my Tamina hoodie, it is right here.
Ooh.
Oh, I love it. I kind of wish I
However,
had one.
however, I am rocking my friend's clothing line, a black-owned business, Heart of a Lion. This is the one. Oh, sorry, my
Oh,
phone
I
is
love
up.
Heart of a Lion.
Yes, this is the lioness shirt. I have this shirt in three colors. So shout out to UK for making this dope shirt. And yeah, that's what I'm rocking tonight. We supporting black-owned businesses tonight.
Yep, I love it. And I want to do a quick plug for Pretty Hills because they're doing a Juneteenth weekend, blackwrestlefest.com. And
Lit.
we might be throwing another party. So definitely follow Pretty Hills and make sure you
Yeah,
RSVP, get on
following
that
us.
email list so that you can stay up to date with that. That's going to be in Brooklyn. So y'all need to.
So being
Oh,
that
we
it's in
do.
Brooklyn, don't come with no smoke, math.
But you better come though.
No, you gotta come, but don't come with no smoke. We won't need that in Brooklyn. All right. Thanks. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
What you drinking, Seindole?
Well, I am normally a red wine kind of girl, and I'm like the unwine queen. So I happen to become this year a connoisseur of wine. And we're not just doing, barefoot. We left barefoot back in 2019, actually.
Oh.
We've been trying to get on to different countries. So I've decided to travel the world to Germany, and I actually have me a German Riesling. And it's funny because
That bottle's beautiful.
it is beautiful, and it's funny because this is actually my mom's favorite wine. And she was just like, "You need to try this. It's good." And I'm like, "I don't know, white wine." And she gets us bloated. I don't know if I can do her today, but we did try this on New Year's Eve. It is good. So, and then also I have another bottle because when I see you, Pat, when I see you, Krista, this is going. So until I see you, ladies, very soon.
Very soon.
Cheers to Thirsty Thursday.
Yes. So that just made me think of the event that we had in November where we was all turned the fuck up. That was fun. So yeah. There's definitely a shot of Seindole giving me some champagne. Shout out to Privateers.
I drove the boat on champagne.
Yes.
I drove the boat.
God.
Like, yeah, that was my thing.
Seindole, that video that me, Seindole, and Wilkins did, and Seindole just looked in the camera and put. I was like, yeah, that is my favorite.
Oh, that was my favorite of the night. I think.
That was my favorite. Like that. Shout out to my cousin. She has her own business, and she provided the 360 cam for that night, and we was lit. We was turned.
It was nice.
Shout out to DJ Letty on the ones and twos.
Shout out to DJ Letty, yo, and shout out to everybody that came through. Maryland was in there deep.
I know.
That means
that's good. That's what means this party is all about. I mean, for it to actually turn into everybody just coming in and connecting with one another, it needs to be like that, more like that in the wrestling community. Like, we may get on the internet and we might insult each other, we might talk about each other's mom's couches, but at the end of the day, like, we should all come together and just turn up for a greater cause. And that night felt like a good night.
It really did. That was such a great night. But I want to let everybody know about the game. So those that are new to Thirsty Thursdays, you can drink anything you want, water, tea. We tend to like to have our champagne, our tequila. But this is actually from Face Beat Hills High Podcast. So I hope they don't mind us using their drinking game that does not have a name. But when you hear this sound,
that means
you drink.
Okay, all right.
So, we could take a shot to anything. Just let me know when y'all want me to hit the gong. Ladies, you too. And we're going to have some fun tonight. For my birthday!
Happy birthday!
It's so weird even saying that because it's just so, it was the 11th.
My birthday was last week, though, was it not?
It definitely was.
Yeah, it was last week.
On the
it was last week. I could see if it was if you would have said last month.
February. Yes.
I want to shout out. Birthdays last for the month. They don't last for the day.
You're right.
That's a fact. And although we are in Aquarius season, and I'm only bringing up Aquarius season because that just puts us one step closer to Pisces season.
I do love Pisces.
Come on down,
yes. Thank you. Oh man, I want to give a shout out to some people that's already in the comments. Y'all gotta let us know what y'all drinking tonight, even if it's some refreshing ass water. Happy birthday, fellow Capricorn. Thank you. Capricorn season was definitely lit. There's a lot of Capricorns in the wrestling community.
A lot of Capricorns in my life that I had no idea of.
Same with Pisces, girl. You have no idea.
But shout out to Andre. Make sure you guys follow him on TikTok. He is hilarious.
Okay.
So funny on TikTok. I'll be
put the link to your TikTok in the comments, Drizzy.
Yes, put your TikTok in the comments. I'll be cracking up watching him on TikTok.
Yo, you know who do need to follow on TikTok? Seindole.
Yes, follow Seindole too. I'll be all up in her comments, all up in her likes.
You know what's funny? I'm sitting here. I'm on war at TikTok right now because I made a video. I reacted to a video and it blew up. It was about the whole Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian, Jordan, and Krista knows because Krista watched it. I've been in fight or flight mode. I'm I'm freaking Brock Lesnar going through all 30 men in the Rumble right now because there's people just coming for me, and I'm like, listen, I said what the hell I said. This year is the year of the unapologetic. Seindole doesn't apologize for anything.
Come on, unapologetic.
Unapologetic. It's like Issa Rae said. I feel it's me season. Drink to that. It's drink to me season because I feel bad for you if you just not. It's me season.
Right.
Period.
Nah, I love that. So I wanted to talk to y'all ladies about something that kind of went viral on wrestling Twitter. And it was a tweet. And now I'm talking to two ladies that like to get dressed up. We all three of us, we like to glam up anytime we go out. And because we're wrestling fans, I feel like most of the things we go out to is wrestling related. Shout out to your Ripple Junction shirt, Seindole.
Love it. Love it.
And
Love
love
it.
it.
Love it.
So someone tweeted, why do y'all have to get dressed up to go to wrestling shows? And
God, I saw that.
no, go ahead, Krista, because I was on Twitter all weekend and I just seen everything. Because even I kind of felt the way about the tweet, although I don't know the tone of it. Yeah, I don't know the tone of it, but it definitely felt like a little judgy.
I was feeling like, one, depend on what type of dress up, because it's just like when you go to a concert or like a certain type of event, or something that's like real casual, like why are you dressed up in heels? And or yeah, something like that. So I'm just like, does she mean dress up as in like dressing like your favorite wrestlers, wearing the merch, wearing their shirts, wearing whatever? Or does she mean dress up in a sense as putting on heels, wearing your big minks or your designer bags and this, that, and third to sit up in the stands of whoever's not gonna see you? So it really depends on what she meant by dress up. Like, I do not understand why, if you're gonna be in a standing room, right? I'm not saying don't look presentable. I'm not saying don't look good. And if that's how you feel like you want to look good and look presentable, then I'm not knocking you. But I don't get, like, if you're wearing heels, like, I don't understand it. Like, wearing heels to a certain type of event where it's like calls for like sneakers or like something to be comfortable in. I don't get it. So I don't want to sit here and judge and be like, well, because we wrestling fans and that's what we do, because we don't know the context that it's in or the tone that it's in.
Right.
But yes, you will see me with my wrestling shirt on. You will see me with some makeup on, depending on the event, with my lashes on and all that. Yes, you will see me dressed up like that because that's how I feel comfortable.
Right.
That's what I want to wear. Dressed up with sneakers.
See, I look at it as wear what you want to wear. Like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And if you're outing, like myself, like a lot of my outings are wrestling related, and I like to dress up. I love styling my wrestling shirts with a cute outfit, hanging out with my friends. Most times I'm drinking, we're gonna hang out after. Like, why wouldn't I want to look cute? It don't make no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what context she meant in dressing up, but yeah, like, if you feel comfortable in that way, then that's what you feel comfortable in. Like, who are you to judge anybody for wanting to wear heels in the mink, or want to wear in the summertime, want to wear heels and a short shorts and the cute tank top to dress up or dress it down? Like, you were nobody for you to be judging anybody. Like Seindole said, it's me season. So if me season consists of me putting on some 6-inch heels or 5-inch heels or 4-inch heels with some cute shorts or some cute pants and the tee or whatever, I'm gonna do that. And who's gonna sit here and stop me? Not you.
Right.
Well, last time I checked, I bought my clothes. You didn't buy them for me.
My money paid for my clothes, not yours. So yeah,
it's kind of crazy. I feel like, and I feel like some people have a problem with being a fan. Is like, it's one thing to be like a male fan because they get criticized enough. Like, why do you have to critique our fashion? Like, if anything, I, as like a wrestling fan wearing clothes, I would be impressed. Like, a lot of people, I remember the first time I ever wore my Macho Man, because a lot of people don't know I really did watch Macho Man as a kid. And even like we had a dress up day at work. So they were like, oh, wear your favorite tee. And I was like, all right, busted, don't threaten me with a good time. I'm wearing a Macho Man shirt. And the amount of compliments I actually got, like, there was somebody that came into my office and they looked at me and they looked at my shirt and they was like, yeah, baby, like they did the Slim Jim thing in front of me and I was like, why is he? Oh yeah, the shirt. Like, you would be surprised. Like, I feel like anybody else, if you're a fan of something and you want to, like, if you're gonna wear a shirt, make it look good. Like, hello, like I understand there's not a lot of people that understand fashion as it is, but like, if wrestling tees, band tees can be a thing, wrestling shirts should never be a problem. Like, wrestling is pop culture, no matter what you think or how you feel about it or what demographic is watching it. Like, if you see somebody watching wearing a John Cena shirt, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's John Cena from WWE, or it's John Cena the Peacemaker. But what shirt is that? Like, it's intertwined in pop culture now. So to make that comment, I feel like it was kind of lost in translation, but at the same time, yeah, it was lost translation, but
right. Like people were going ham. Yeah, people were going ham on her because they took it a certain way, like which I thought was a little uncalled for. But wrestling Twitter is a fucking nightmare. But it did. I'm like, it does come off a little judgy, and I feel like women in general are a little sensitive to being in the wrestling community because of all the shit that we already deal with. So if I feel like I'm being judged for wanting to look cute, it's gonna spark a strong emotion from people.
Right.
True.
Like point blank period. How about everybody just let everybody do whatever the fuck they want to do at wrestling shows, as long as it's respectful and nobody's getting hurt.
That part.
I want to. You know what? I don't know why y'all putting me in charge of this, cause.
Wait, who said drink? I'm trying to read the comments because I'm not.
Yum.
That was a big gulp of wine.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yo, your face is hilarious.
You ever been hit with them? Like I just got hit with my own glass.
And it got that heat.
Yeah, it was like, are we drinking? Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know what y'all are drinking though.
Yeah,
in the comments.
I just want to take this off of wrestling for a little bit.
Of course.
It's still under the topic of us owning and us a new season. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the comments that were made by what's this guy name? The comments that were made by the podcast Off the Record or whatever, fresh and whatever the case. Them guys.
Mm-hmm.
So Brittany Renner was up there, and she basically read them for Phil. Straight Phil, because you know how he was just like she was like before we got on the show, y'all was talking about how there's no value to me, like there's this, there's that. What do you mean? He was like, oh well, she's like, no, she was like I was like, oh, I'm talking to general. He's like, don't generalize it now because you didn't say it in general rules on camera. But she was like. He's like, you're not special, just like everybody else. And he goes, who are you to sit here? I said, and I'm not special. Like, I have nobody. What if I sat here and said you were good ass nigga? Then what? Like,
I did see that.
He read them for book because these guys, first of all, you can tell they had no type of love coming up.
And one of them was on the Sugar Baby site, so.
They was on what?
One of them is on, the one that made the comment is actually on the Sugar Baby site.
Stop it.
Yes, I will send you the TikTok right now. The guy, like she was.
Don't get no play, no pussy, no nothing.
And then he's like 30 something. He's like, I'm here for fun and blah, blah, blah. He's like, she just like exposed him. Like he's been like, TikTok has already done its job by like literally for Phil. And if she really did do that, I want to watch that. Because if she really did do that,
I'll send it. It's my shade room.
Yeah, if she really did do that, kudos to her because, like, even that comment in itself, and then it's like you get men that are like, oh, why won't girls date me, or why do girls have such animosity towards black men? And hello, do you see what we're seeing in the media? Like, it's easy somebody to get a boom mic and go around the room and say men are the A, B, C, and D, or women are A, B, C, and D. But like, if you go and do it, make sure you're ready for the repercussions. And if she really did read them, that's the repercussion, in my opinion. Yeah.
Good for her.
I just see you. She read them.
Because I watched one of the podcast episodes, and the girls they have on there too. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what they're getting paid. You couldn't pay me enough.
Self-confidence. Like, if he was to ever catch enemies and he'll come across me and talk about, oh, but you're this, that, and third, whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, I could probably get more than you will ever get. Ever in life.
And that's on period.
Ooh, I love when women shut niggas down like that.
Right.
Like, judge whatever you want. But at the end of the day, right, facts. You took the words right out of my fucking mouth. It's always like that. And of course, they cop in a plea when she's on the show. That's why I'm glad she checked them. Like, no, keep that fucking same energy.
Shout out to her. Shout out to women standing up for themselves and standing their grounds for these
Can we get a gong on that?
low self esteem
Hell yeah.
no.
You said it best. That's the serious.
She really
Okay,
did. Facts.
let's jump off of these little ass men stuff. Because I ain't got time for them.
Nah, we don't got time for them. In 2022, we not putting too much energy into negativity, weak ass men with small dick energy. Yeah, we're not entertaining that.
We shouldn't. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was telling them like I'm gonna start my year off not dating, not talking to anybody, and like the amount of guys. Mind you, I'm not gonna ever brag about my DMs. My DMs are not dry. Hello, but the amount of guys that just don't understand, and I can understand like where the frustration comes with dating. But thank you. When it comes to dating, it's hard enough that sometimes I just want to break. Like, it's nothing offended to you. I just don't want to go out to dinner with you. And it's like, I feel like, and can I curse on this podcast?
Yes.
Of course you can.
I feel like I dick punched some of them.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Like
that's
friend
what it
zone
literally feels like. Yeah, it's not even friend zone. It's just like right now, I don't want to do this with you. Like, don't be offended, but I just don't want to do this with you because I'm trying to get some shit in order. Like, mind you, like living with my parents during the pandemic was awesome. Great, love them. Gotta get the fuck out of here. Got a new promotion at work.
Yes,
working
bitch.
on my Instagram. You guys have already seen doing my skin talk. Doing my black girl beauty TikToks, fighting with the trolls on here on Instagram, trying to grow my brand. Because at the end of the day, just like you guys are a brand, like I am a brand, and I feel like that's where the misunderstanding lies. Like a lot of people will say, I don't want to date because I want my shit together, and people just think like, oh, it's not that I don't want to date. You don't want to date me, or you're just not interested in me. And it's like, no, just sometimes I literally just want to not date you when my life is a hot mess. Like I struggle. I don't want your struggle and you don't want my struggle, but I don't want you to see my struggle. So it's like in this beginning of the year, like that was my thing. Like my thing was, okay, I'm not going to date right now until I have at least 90 days to get my stuff together. Like what were your intentions for the new year?
Yeah. See, I love that you put a time frame like 90 days, like give me 90 days because that's 3 months is ain't that a quarter of the year? Like that's a great amount of time to like focus on you. And sometimes you really need that space. Like to have that time to be productive, to be creative, to be inspired. And sometimes a guy or a girl or romance or whatever don't fit into that.
Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works. But as long as your partner can allow you to could give you that grace to be yourself within the relationship, where you need to focus on you and they perfect. But don't want to be all up in my DMs. Don't want to be taking me out. Don't want to be whatever, and not letting me and not giving me the grace to be me when I need to be me.
Exactly.
So yeah.
No, definitely. But your Instagram, I've been loving because I've actually been learning things about my skincare. Like, please follow Seindole on TikTok, Instagram, all of that. I'm about to put the link in because we're gonna get you. You're very close to 500 followers. We're gonna get you up there.
I'm one follower away from 500 followers. That's the funny thing.
Okay.
And it's funny because when I started this, I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it because I feel like I gotta kind of be an expert in doing all that. But it's like, no, I am an expert. Like, look at my skin. Like, people who know me from elementary school, and it's funny because shout out to my friend Anthony who knew me since middle school, like since like 8th grade. He was like, I remember when I remember when you used to like cry about your acne or like people would make fun of you. And then you see my skin now and it's just like, I'm literally trying to be relatable. Like not for nothing, everybody goes through something. And that's why I guess a lot of people share their experience on social media now. Some people doing it for the money. Let's be real. Shout out to those doing it for the money. But also other people are doing it because they're relatable and we need more relatable. That's why I feel like even with social media, it's gonna shy away from the luxury, even though I'm obsessed with black girl luxury TikTok. obsessed with it because
Me
I love to see
too.
sisters.
Me
I
too.
love to see sisters staying their ground, knowing their worth, making sure they're drinking their Chardonnay while they're getting on their private jet with it. I love it all. But at the same time,
I say it's private jet.
The authenticity of the influencer is coming. Like not everybody is living the same way. We need more relatable people, and that's what I'm really trying to bring.
That part.
I love it, and that's what I see in your videos. Because I love that you post bareface, you post glam, you post wig off, wig on, and I think that's so important to like that authenticity. Like, bitch, I don't wake up looking like this, but let me show you how I do look like. You know, like I think there's something so special about that.
I always tell people I'm trying to catfish.
You trying to what?
Period.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I always tell people I'm trying to catfish.
You're so silly.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
No, I really don't either.
Because it's like I'm the type of person that like if you want to meet me, you gonna meet me. Like you gonna meet me with a wig, you gonna meet me with braids, you gonna meet me with cornrows. Like I'm and set it off. Oh, and oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
600, yeah.
And we have the same birthday.
Do you really? Happy birthday!
Yeah, we do. And she's a queen. She was on the panel.
Yep.
At the event, at the party.
She was. I love her dress.
Oh my God, she's one of the most amazing people in the world. Make sure you follow her. NYC Demon Diva on everything. But her YouTube channel is so relatable, and you really feel like you're hanging out with like your best girlfriend watching wrestling. Like it's the best thing ever. I'm gonna put the link to her YouTube channel in the comments. So
guys,
we love you, Issa.
Guys, so I know I feel like we just have to catch up on so much because we haven't caught up on a lot. And I know I do want to catch up on wrestling, and you know I do want to do that, but I have to. Being that we all watch it, and I just started learning Koda. Can we please mention Euphoria real quick?
Oh, Euphoria! Yes, I'm obsessed right now.
I need a drink before.
You can't talk about Euphoria without being like, I feel like intoxicated somehow. You know what I mean? Who watches Euphoria? Please let me know in the comments and what y'all want to talk about, because there's a lot. It's only been 3 episodes, and it's so much already to digest.
Two. Do you hear this pouring that I'm doing? Because child.
Let me see if King Letty can pour me some more shit.
Yes. Let King Letty jump in on this conversation.
Yes. Because we're not even the switching they doing right now. First of all, I haven't been this invested since Triple H and Stephanie McMahon got married. I don't care what nobody say. Like, why the fuck was she in the passenger seat with? Why she? I know we're not supposed to talk about wrestling yet, but why she in the passenger seat with Triple H? That's the enemy. Why she got married?
Culture at that time, okay.
Hello.
Say how much I was invested in anything Stephanie McMahon did. You would have thought she was me and Letty's fucking triplet. Like when we was younger, we were like, "Yo, bitch, are you okay?"
Like when I get invested into things,
take raped and married, and it was a lot going on.
Like, no, you supposed to marry Tess. Like he's the strapping, and he's like, no. What is this?
Like,
dude,
I don't even know where to begin. I low key feel as if you guys didn't watch it, I don't know what to tell you because I'm about to spoil you some stuff. Sorry.
Spoiler. I mean, it's been almost a week. Like, if you ain't watch it, then that's on you.
No, come on, yeah. HBO Max is $7.99 for the first month of the year. They ain't got no.
Oh yeah, they got a little deal going on. You better catch it.
I'm even talking about from the first season. You ain't watching it.
Thank you.
But one, I don't feel like Nate is gay.
No,
I think he's just like fucked up.
I just feel like Maddie does not do it for him.
Oh my God. Yo, these comments. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, I'm trying to read them too. I just feel like he's fronting. And now that he has Cassie in the sense, Cassie's who does it for him. Cassie is like the person that you gotta go ahead, crush.
Right, I'm
Cassie is the one that really does it for him, and is not Maddie. But Maddie is just like, she's that bitch. She's that
Maddie
bitch.
is that bitch. I like her a lot. I'm not even gonna front.
And I
I
said
like
that
Maddie.
I love
Yeah,
Maddie, but why do I feel like Rue? This is the age of Rue's. I don't give a fuck, because I was talking to somebody that I actually know that has done drugs and been to rehab, and I was like, why is she acting like she don't care? Like, she went to rehab, she put her family through all this, and now she's just going back doing drugs with some guy she met at a party. And he was like, literally, he was like, I'm gonna tell you this, and this is why I feel like Euphoria is so relatable. When you're young and you're on drugs, you really don't give a fuck. Like, you can like mind you, she's already overdosed. So it's like, her I don't give a fuck came from here, and then on top of that, you have somebody that leaves you, that's supposed to love you. It went all the way up here. And he was like, yo, that's how most people, he was like, they're no different than the people that like keep buying crack on the street and keep using it, knowing damn well what it does to their body. She gives a fuck, but she don't give a fuck. But I was just like,
she don't give a fuck, because I think it take a different kind of fucked up person to go to NA and accept a chip knowing you have not been fucking sober.
exactly.
That's fucked up.
And that's what the guy called out.
Like, that means you really don't give a fuck.
You sit here and you lie. You sit here and you lie for those.
Yep.
And those who are
And he said,
actually struggling to be sober.
Mom. She said, wait, you're like gonna come inside? He said, yeah.
Dude,
I'm
even the
nervous.
first,
She was
even-
so in the
Yo.
dog.
she was.
All right, Dwayne. Yes, I am setting up my food. Yes.
Shout out for the food.
That's the way, hi, baby.
Tearing up my food. You can come for a plate if you want, boo.
He's like, shoot, give me my
Wow,
keys real
yeah, that's
quick.
because I wish I lived in Brooklyn.
He will definitely be bringing my door in 2.5 seconds. I promise you.
But
Oh, y'all live back close to each
even
other?
No, but he drives.
okay.
Oh, okay.
That was it. It's so much going on in these 2 episodes. Like, even I can't remember what it was. It was the whole, and then like, mind you, social media is in an uproar. And shout out to the girl paying Cassie, because girl, the amount of hate that they're giving this girl, like, oh, if you agree with what Cassie says, you're the type of girl that's going to go out with your best friend's man. And it's like, no,
that's not
it. If you have an infatuation with male validation and love,
Yeah.
there's no boundary. So it's like, for you to sit there and judge her, like, mind you, it was interesting because if I can post the TikTok on here, I'm going to try to, but like, there was a user that's actually said, like, if you haven't noticed that Rue's is not the only person with an addiction, but Cassie also has an addiction, you're not understanding the show. And then when I look back at even the first season, like, the things she's willing to accept, when she was willing to accept from, first of all, McKay, boring, boo, tomatoes, I'm throwing tomatoes at him. Tomatoes.
He's like the token black guy.
He's token. Like, even the first episode, and Christy knows I was pissed, like, why you let that boy all up in your space? Why you ain't push him? Like, you should have been the person knocking him out instead of Fez. Why you let him in your personal space like that?
Can we please take a shot for Fez? Fez appreciates
yes.
You know why I love him even more? Because he reminds me of Mac Miller, who I also love.
My.
Shout out to him, another Capricorn. His birthday was yesterday.
He would have been 30.
Would have been 30.
Fly high.
But I love Fez. Cassie's annoying, but I low-key have a crush on her as well. So I'll be like, oh my God, Cassie. But then I'm like, yo, you so dumb, bitch.
Cassie reminds me of one of those between 1950s, 1970s type pinup girls. She's just so flawless and so beautiful and real, like.
But fucking insecure. Any type of guy give her attention, she gonna be all over that shit.
Yeah. And it was crazy because I was even like, you would expect her to be like, okay, this is wrong. Like, this is like that you almost died of a heart attack in the tub with your best friend peeing on the other side of the curtain. But you would think, oh, okay, this was wrong the first time. And you said it was wrong, but then you guys are still doing it. And then like poor like, I don't want to say poor Nate, because I can't stand the guy. But like, it must have been brain trauma for him to have a whole fantasy about being with Cassie because he don't want to be with Cassie. This is, I feel, his way of like control because he's seen his father unable to control his past and his narrative, and he's like, "Not me, bitch. Like, you're not going." Confuse me with a good time. I'm gonna look for what I want, but he's also confused too without realizing it. You know what I mean?
He's just fucked up.
And the way Fez Molly whopped Nate, cheers to that. Can we get a drink on that? Because he
win.
whooped that ass like he stole something. Well, he did. He got his house.
And my
raided,
thing is, I was just waiting, like, when is Nate gonna get his? And he finally fucking got his. And I
thought that McKay was gonna do it before Fez.
No, McKay, like we said,
about my life.
No, because when he was all in his face, it was like, you ain't do her. You didn't do her. Where you put it in that? Where you come on her at? That like all in his face, and he was like, yo, move. Like I really thought that he was
he was like, chill, bro, chill.
Something.
Like I was expecting Fez's reaction on McKay when it didn't happen. I was like, are you at least gonna put two and two together? Like I would have been like, yo, why are you asking so many questions about Cassie? But apparently that's gonna be a whole nother story down the line.
That's definitely, it has to be like, it really has to be.
I think it's interesting that her sister and Fez are talking though.
I love that. I love that.
I loved it.
I feel like Fez, she would be able to bring Fez out of that and to show her something more. And Ashtray is gonna be the one that's gonna be.
I love Ashtray. I love that we got Fez's backstory. By
the way that he jumped like he was fucking like he was Roman Reigns with that fucking hammer, and just
yo, I love
was like,
that he just had to give Ashtray that look. Ashtray got the
Fez was like, what the okay, what's fuck,
up?
Yo?
Let me know what's up. I love it. I love that we got to find out about Fez's grandmother.
She was a G.
And all that shit.
She was a G. When she went in and shot the father in the kneecaps.
In both kneecaps.
She said, I just want to go talk to your father. You're going to
be staying with grandma right now. Thanks.
She said you're going to be staying with grandma from now. Okay, that's how you handle your business. But
there are so many
shout out to Izzy and love it so much. Hi, Izzy.
There are so many layers to this show. Mind you, we're only on episode 2.
Yo, I thought there was 3 episodes because there's so much.
No, it's only episode 2. Like they got people writing songs for them. Like Lana Del Rey is supposed to debut a song next episode. Like they have so many backstories. Like this new person, his backstory they say is just as interesting as Fez's. So I'm waiting to see that because he's on like even him. I'm like, what are you here for? Like I want to know what you're here for.
Wait, who? McKay?
No, the guy that Rue got high with.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited for that because I also like him. He's super cute.
Super cute. And can we just talk about how we had to say goodbye to Insecure?
I finally finished it, by the way, recently.
We had to say goodbye to Insecure.
I realized I have this.
I realized,
like, oh.
PR jumping in your head.
That's what I was looking at the comment.
I love where it went. I love how, they all came into their own. For some reason, I wasn't sure where it was going to go, but I'm not mad at Issa and Lawrence being back together or like actually working through their shit. Just because I can relate to the working through your shit with somebody that you've been with for so long.
Yeah.
Although people don't approve or whatever, at the end of the day, that's between you and the person you are with. Nobody else has to approve. Nobody else has to acknowledge. Nobody else has to care. But you have to respect it because I'm your friend. Just leave it alone. I won't talk about my relationship. You won't have to ask about it.
Either way, I'm going to be there for you.
Right. That's it. And I liked how it gave her a sense to grow.
Right.
I just wish they would have put back that dark skinned guy. What was his name?
Oh,
Daniel.
Daniel. Oh, he does something to me. Like,
girl, well, don't let it be done on this camera, please.
I think because he reminds me of like someone I've dated in the past. So that whole, like his whole vibe, I'm like, okay, this is very familiar to me. But I recently finished Insecure, because I realized when things are ending, I kind of like push it off because like I don't want it to end kind of thing. And then Letty was like you gotta like come on, you gotta watch it. I was like, fine. So I watched the last, and I was so happy with the finale. Like, you know how some people be like, oh, you know, this is like that pressure of ending a show. I'm with you, Krista. I love how everyone's story ended up unfolding. Like,
we never saw Kelly's baby. Like, where's Kelly's baby?
Oh, I just realized we never saw.
We definitely did it.
Nope, because the year before Molly got married, she had announced that she was pregnant, and she's like, "I want to have your baby. I want to have your baby." And then by the time we get to the wedding, Tiffany's pregnant again. Where's Kelly's child?
That's the one thing. Although I would be here for a Kelly spinoff because she's one of my favorite characters.
You know what's crazy? Kelly started off as a writer.
Right. And then when they were trying to write Kelly, they couldn't find anybody to be Kelly except her. I watched the special and I was like, that's dope.
Yes,
that's dope. You learn a lot about Insecure and like even some things I didn't know about awkward black girl and how it was only literally supposed to be about We Got Us and nothing else. But then slowly when she started hooking up with Penance and all the other writers and like first of all, the cast and crew, shout out to them. That's the most diverse cast and crew you ever will see in Hollywood. Like, it's not just Black women. They have one of their head, I know the director, the woman they brought in, and I'm a big fan of her work as a photographer. You know, I'm still obsessed. She's actually a really well-known hip hop city video director, and they brought her in for cinematography. And yeah, she did Drake's video. She did
a lot of
Beyonce stuff, and they brought her in because she said the first season she felt like they weren't showing enough of California from the Black community side. Like all the parts of Inglewood you see. Like I have a friend named James who actually lives out in Inglewood, and he's like, "Yo, the fact they put this taco spot that she went to." That she was constantly going to, and everybody goes there that lives in Inglewood, but now people outside know where it's at. Like she put people in the neighborhood in the show to even work. Like you had people that lived in Crenshaw, one of the most you know dangerous areas of South Crenshaw and mainland Crenshaw, working, taking cast to filmings, taking them to work, working in lighting, doing security. So it wasn't just Issa Rae doing it for the community. She really put on for the community. Like people had jobs because of her.
Yeah,
and it's like, rare to see that.
One of the people who Issa hired, well, she met this person in the supermarket.
Right.
And a few years later, she had ran into somebody else that had like the person had an Insecure shirt or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, you know, my wife is pregnant." He go, "I met her a while back, this, that, third, or whatever." And then come to find out, Issa was like, "All right, cool." And he became the driver for like the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like Issa was putting everybody on. Like a lot of these people were, two of them was interns, and now they the head of their own shows and running their own shows stuff because it started from Insecure. It started from Issa.
Nice. See, that's the shit literally gives me fucking goosebumps. Like that's what it's
like. I didn't even know one of them. Like one of the girls that works there saying where they had the art, like in the last season where they had the art show for the block. It's like literally one of the most like torn down art places in that side of LA. And Issa Rae was like, "Nope, we're setting up here," and she set up in the park, and it drew attention to the area. And that speaks on the like you'll never get a show like you have to watch this documentary because I started crying. Like even I started crying the minute she said bye to Yvonne. Like, and then that's the reason I made the face that I made because everybody was just like, "Oh, she chose Lawrence, blah blah." I'm like, y'all don't get the show. I was rooting for her friendship and with Molly to last. Like last season almost broke me. I was like, if they don't stay friends.
It's funny because Letty always says that like, it's a love story between Molly and Issa. That's the heart
as much as as much as it is a love story between her and herself, because like think of Mirror Girl. Like for the end for it to be for her to look at her own reflection and not have self-doubt talking back to her. That's what people should have looked for. It's like, all right, Lawrence came back. Boo, tomato. But even so many things that element in the show, I think a lot of people also missed like two things. I feel like they missed the part that Nathan literally told her constructively, like, listen, this whatever you got going on is too much, and for my mental health I gotta step away.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't do that. Like
That
a
was
lot of men struggle to even do that because they're so judged for their mental health, and that was a big thing to show.
It really was.
I think for me, I was rooting for the friendship too because Issa and Molly are literally me and my best friend Nikisha. I am Issa and this is Molly. Like, there's no way, especially like we've been through that rough patch that Molly and Issa been through. Like, me and my best friend we stopped talking for like a whole year and some change. Like, we definitely had to figure out who we were individually or whatever when we came back, and it was still kind of awkward when we came back. And then, I mean, we didn't get robbed for anything, thank God. But we were able to find out who we were individually before we brought it back to our friendship as best friends. And literally, she's literally the Molly to my Issa. Like, and now that like Issa had glue up or whatever, and now I feel like I'm on that same glow up path, and she was already stable, but she's still glowing up too, and things like that. So I'm just like, yo, we're really Molly and Issa. And I remember she had called me, and she was like, I was about to talk to you about Molly and Issa. So she go, yo, what's up? I said, Betty White died. And she go, what? I was talking to you about Molly. I have a Molly and Issa moment, and you just I said, girl, Betty White done died, and it took her out of here the last day of the new year. We can talk about Molly and Issa another day.
Why would that be the thing to like watch you out? I find that so hilarious. It's so funny because I would think that like even like Pat is my, like, I have way too many Mollys in my life. Like, I feel like Pat's my Molly. I feel like my friend, I feel like Nia's my Molly. I even think my boy Keith is Molly because the way that me and Keith, like, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking slap you upside the face, and he gonna be like, well, why you acting like this? But then I'd be like, yo, let's go watch a movie. And he's like, all right, bet. Like, so many people have Mollys in their lives that, like, I always said, like, you not really best friends. Like, I have a best friend that just got married. Shout out to my girl Gina Boo, because she is watching. Job, by the way. She just got married, and as much as I was like, I hate being the maid of honor because these bitches stress me out, she was like, I need you. So I'm just like, gotta put my face on, gotta act like I like these, gotta act like gotta act right, and I'm gonna be there for my best friend. So, like, even the wedding scene hit synonymous to me because I can look in my best friend's eyes and I'm like, yeah, she needed me. Like, so that's why I say I root for their friendship. Like, shout out to Lawrence and anybody who's team Lawrence or team Nathan or team Issa, shout out to the Hive. But everybody has a Molly.
True. Y'all need to let us know who y'all Mollys are. Tag them.
Shout out to Keith.
Tag your Molly.
Keith is Molly for the night besides these two. Yeah. Shout out to Keith on the check-in.
Maybe Issa and Yvonne will see this and see how much they impacted us.
Right.
Okay.
What I loved Issa and Molly's friendship, like, for sure. Do y'all watch the new Sex and the City?
No, I've never watched Sex and the City, and I'm never gonna touch Sex and the City. So if y'all want to have that, y'all can.
I'm just
curious. It was okay, and then these last 2 episodes were not. So unfortunately, I would have to tap out because it's just like when something like, okay, we just talked about Insecure, which is authentic, very authentic.
It's for us.
It's for us. Sex and the City was for me too. I'm not gonna lie. I was really in, like, it made me love fashion. It made me love New York. But you were supposed to give it a chance to change, and now I feel like you're forcing the change.
It seems
why? And then I feel like the writers are not following their own format and following timelines because half the stuff that's going on does not make sense.
That's what shout out to my friend Gabe, because he's a fan, and he was saying how, like, it's like they almost didn't, like, follow who the characters were before.
Right.
You know?
And it's like what they doing to Miranda.
It's
like,
a lot.
It's too forced. Like, it's forced. So right. I had to bow out.
I'm gonna watch it because I like to watch it, and so I like to watch stuff and talk shit about it. So that's what I like to do. But before, I want to talk about my favorite pay-per-view of all time, since it is my birthday celebration. Hey. So shout out to everybody that's still with us in the comments. We're gonna take a toast to Issa Rae and Insecure because they fucking did that shit. Like, they did that shit. I'm like, is it gonna come on? Like,
you did it twice. Oh my god.
He just wants to get drunk. That's all.
It's been a while. This is the first Thursday of 2022. I'm really excited about this year, and yeah, I am looking for.
You watch Grand Crew?
I watched the first couple episodes. I love it.
Actually, I like it. It's funny.
Shout out to Abbott Elementary. Yep. Okay, so Dwayne doesn't know the rules because he's like the Undertaker sound is sending me. So when you hear that sound, and those that are new to Thirsty Thursday, when you hear that sound, you drink, and it's actually from Face B Hills High podcast, and their show doesn't have a name. That's what they do. So we do that for Thirsty Thursday. And if you don't follow Face B Hills High podcast, please make sure you go follow them. But yes, that's what that sound is.
I'm just glad. Listen, I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a shot for Dwayne because I'm just glad that he's been my friend since we were 7 years old, and he knows what the Undertaker sound like. So,
hey,
and I love like people that are not wrestling fans that like get wrestling things. Like shout out to our friend Nia because it's like he'll know a little something. Like I spoke to him about Lita, and he knew I was trying. I was like, yes, you know what's up. Yes, Royal Rumble.
Be trying. He be trying, y'all. Shout out to the friends that try and understand. What?
I know, right? Accept that. Listen,
what do you mean?
Me and Nia had a whole connection over Grand Crew on Twitter. So we gonna meet right
there. Yeah, drop the gong on that.
And we also just shout out all the black shows that are on TV now. Like, and Issa Rae fucking did that shit.
All right, sis. I got work in the morning.
I'm gonna need do I need another refill? I might need another refill. But since it is my birthday celebration, and it's January, so I guess it's gonna just be on forever. It's also Royal Rumble season, and like I'm so hyped.
I'm hyped. Legends.
Yes, we're gonna be at Legends.
Shout out to the Jarvis Tears podcast.
Oh my gosh, it'll be our first wrestling party of 2022.
No.
Yes, so if y'all don't know, Jarvis Tears podcast, make sure they host pay-per-view watch parties at Legends every single month. This is actually also their 10-year anniversary.
Oh, we're gonna do big.
So if you are in New York, around New York, you need to come by because we're gonna be screaming. I always lose my voice during Royal Rumble. So it's gonna be that type of sound.
Who are you guys most excited for?
Shout out to Royal Rumble. Shout out for Royal Rumble. Shout out. Make sure you guys put your raffles in for Black Wrestling Poll on for Royal Rumble. It's only $3 a bid. Make sure the winner gets $60 and the runner-up gets $30 for the men and women's Royal Rumble. Make sure you put your bids in. Tell them that I sent y'all. Don't tell Matt, because I really don't care. But tell everybody else that I sent y'all. Matt, if you're watching, it's all love. It's all love. I hope you know it's all love. But yes, make sure y'all support Black Wrestling in their raffle, their raffle with that. And it's only $3, y'all. Place your bids in. If spots haven't sold out, because a lot of spots are already gone. So we've seen that they have announced 21 women so far, which I'm so upset. Like, I feel like they should have left it at 10. And
so there was some sort of surprise.
Yeah, left with like 20 surprises. But we have 11 slots left. Who do y'all want to see as a surprise? Because Mickie James, the announcement of Mickie James surprised me. I was like, what? Huh?
The fact they brought back Summer Rae is surprising me.
That too. She should have been a surprise that shouldn't have been announced.
Well, I feel like honorarily they're gonna give it to Kelly Kelly because Kelly Kelly has still been pumping WWE since day one, so they're gonna.
And I think she was in almost every Royal Rumble too.
Yeah, Kelly Kelly and Michelle McCool's been in every Royal Rumble.
I'm trying to think. I really want to be surprised this year, to be honest, because even last year to see Lita come back, I was like, yes, my bitch. I was like, even to see her come back now, I'm like, imagine like her and Charlotte Flair.
Nah, I'm not here for that.
What do you mean?
I'm more here for. See,
I'm just here
I
for
got
Lita,
mixed.
to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is.
I'm biased. I'm just here for Lita.
And I'm here for Lita, and I'm here for like all the legends coming back.
Right.
Like Lita saying she got another run in her. That means like, so you gonna be staying after Royal Rumble? Let me know, because I will be all the way tuned in. But then that makes me think about Sasha Banks, because I know that's my girl. Like I feel like
her foot is broke.
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks. That's not that long.
No, but it's then you got to add on therapy.
You have to figure out, and we know how creative it is. How are we going to figure out how Sasha's going to be facing off with Lita to make
because
sense?
She's Sasha Banks.
There we go.
Bailey is kind of
that they know Sasha's going to come out and be like, "Nah, fuck out of here."
Bailey, I can see. Bailey definitely.
That much I do know. She's definitely going to be surprised. Yes, Mike. They brought back Summer Rae.
They did.
They did.
Who else?
Yeah, I was very excited about Mickie James, and I just love that they acknowledged that she was Impact Knockout Champion. Like that literally made my whole night. Like I was literally like, I'm like, wait, did they say that? Did Charlotte just say the Bella Twins? Did she just say Mickie James? Like when I heard that, I just was screaming. I was just like, oh my god, I cannot wait.
Who I want to see come back. It was right there in my head too. I don't even know where the fuck to think. Oh, this is who music I want to hear hit the Royal Rumble. Stephanie McMahon.
Yes,
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
You could just see people walking out the
1,000%.
I could just see her walking out like, who gonna throw me over? Who gonna do it?
Everybody.
I can see it.
Ever since the first Royal Rumble, we were like, okay, when is Stephanie McMahon gonna be in this? Because that would be the ultimate surprise. Like her, Paige, and like AJ Lee, I think would be like the biggest. Like,
if I hear Light It Up at Jobbers, I'm not gonna have a vocal box. Okay, it's gonna be gone.
I'm also our AJ Lee episode that we just dropped this week, where we talked about her career, we talked about everything pretty much, and it gets spicy. That episode is definitely spicy.
It was. It was a good episode because a lot of valid points were made. Primarily, it's always the argument is like, I feel like the biggest argument when it comes to women's wrestling in WWE is who really started this revolution.
Really? Yeah. Did you do that on accident?
I did, but you should drink because that's the rules.
Come on now.
Yo, see, Courtney know what's up. She said, if Queen hits, I'm going to be pressed. Like, girl. And I'm the type of, like, fickle wrestling. Like, if Stephanie wins, I kind of probably would be like, all right.
First of all, I feel like, and this is how I feel like they should do it, right? Because we know we had the Brie Bella versus Stephanie at SummerSlam. Nikki done turned on her, and for Stephanie to win, I feel like we could pick that up, continue that. Not take it to WrestleMania wise, but Brie kind of gets her revenge. Just like even if Stephanie doesn't win or Brie doesn't win, Brie like beats her crazy and flips her over, and Stephanie's just like, oh, so now you just run to hash stuff up from this, that, and third. All right, so now we're gonna have this banter back and forth until it hits Elimination Chamber. Nope. It had Elimination Chamber because it's gonna be in Saudi Arabia. We don't even know how they're gonna do this now.
I thought they were.
Are they really? Wait, that's what confused me. Are they really going to do it in Saudi Arabia?
I found out by watching Black Wrestling, and they made that, and then I saw it. I think somewhere that they really have an elimination chamber in Saudi Arabia.
How are they going to do that?
So it may not even be a women's one.
Yeah,
I can see
because
that.
they're already bridging the gap.
They didn't even do that last year. Women haven't had an elimination chamber match in dumb long.
Yeah.
They didn't have one last year.
No.
Did they have elimination chamber last year at all?
They did for the men, just not for the women.
No, yeah, you're right. They didn't have one for the men. That was the year before, because it was when the Riot Squad and everybody else. That I do very much remember.
And Shayna,
yeah. And she like dived off. Yeah, that elimination chamber was actually a really good elimination chamber.
No, they got to do better because I like the elimination chamber. I like how the women can prove themselves.
You think anybody from NXT is definitely going to be in the Rumble? I think they'll probably bring back Mandy Rose.
No, they're going to put
up
Gonzalez.
Right. They're trying to push her to the
about her being in on the main roster, which I feel like she should not be.
I'm not a Raquel Gonzalez fan.
But I feel like you can't stay. I feel like if you damned if you do and you damned you don't stay in NXT, like when is she gonna be able to come into the main roster?
But my thing is that when you go into the main roster, like the only person that the only few people that they didn't lose in the sauce coming to the main roster were the 4 Horsewomen, Bianca Belair, anybody else?
There's not a lot of people that survive on that.
Shayna
but
Baszler.
I think the other question is like, but it's always like a weird transition period. Because like I feel like Bayley, when she came to the main roster, was kind of meh. Like I feel like she ain't had her shine until she turned heel. Type.
But at least they didn't lose her. Like
recently.
People were still there, but they didn't lose her in that. So look at Nikki ASH.
Exactly.
And she had a good run when she was Crazy Nikki, when she was with Alexa Bliss, and now you ASH, and it's just like, huh? Like you dropping me out of mid card.
Yeah. Which sucks because she is very talented. I feel like she could be doing so much more than that.
And I really hate that gimmick. I really fucking do. I really.
Seindole, do you like Nikki ASH, the superhero?
Wait, okay. No, this one is him. Who's that? Oh no, okay. That was the one that was like with Alexis, and then like she's with
Rhea Ripley.
I mean, I think it's cute that they gave like her a belt to make her, but it's not memorable. I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm waiting for Rhea Ripley to be a champion by herself. So I'm gonna be biased against that because I'm obsessed with Rhea Ripley. I love her.
Wait, wasn't they all champions? Remember the whole Raquel Gonzalez, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley thing?
Yes, they were all champions.
But I didn't like Rhea Ripley's run because she beat Asuka like randomly at WrestleMania for the belt, and it was kind of just like meh. Yeah, no, I fuck with Asuka. It was meh, and I was already meh. Oh, she's definitely coming back. Yo, we're gonna be screaming at Legends. Like when I hear Asuka music hit, if I hear Bayley's music hit, once I hear the Bella Twins music hit, once I see Mickie James, I hope she comes out with her fucking title belt. I'm gonna be screaming.
I don't think none of them come with their title belts though for Rumble. They just come
none
out.
of
them are allowed to. No,
that would be fire though. So I'm saying they acknowledged it.
You know what's crazy about this Forbidden Door business? And what I saw, apparently Cody Rhodes, which I don't understand, is a free agent.
He is a free agent. I think it's him. I think it's Kenny Omega. That's why you see Kenny Omega on Impact and not AEW right now. They're both somewhere in their contract where they're allowed to basically go wherever they want.
But wait, Royal Rumble is next week. And if y'all watch, well, I know P, you ain't watch it. Last night's episode of AEW, Cody Rhodes came out talking about, he talked about the pipe bomb. He talked about the Forbidden Door, which kind of started. He talked about mad shit. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Cody Rhodes' music hit the
started the Forbidden Door?
He was like, it was because of me, like we couldn't really whatever. Because remember, that's why Cody left. Cody wanted to
Cody wanted to do other things.
To merge companies, and he could not. He wanted to merge companies, and there was like, no, it's forbidden, this, that, whatever. That's why he left and created AEW. That's why you have a lot of these cross-branding of stars. Look at Adrian. Adrian was nowhere. Not Adrian. Arian was nowhere near signed to AEW. She didn't have a contract with WWE, but she was still able to go over there. Like it was because of Cody Rhodes and his idea of being shut down, he was able to do it on AEW. So now, because he's the sole creator of Breaking the Forbidden Door or whatever, something like that, and he's a free agent, I would not be surprised if his music hit at Rumble.
But do you think it's just an angle just to taunt people?
Yeah.
It could be. But I'm saying, like, we don't know. We only know that there's about 15, 20 men. Or maybe less than that on the men's Royal Rumble side.
Yeah.
You don't know shit like who all is coming out.
Right.
I would be completely shocked.
That'd be shocked.
Comes out, that would be like I would not see that coming.
Because remember, everybody was anticipating.
What also started to make my wheels turn was when Steph started doing the shield sound on Roman's door. And then Jon Moxley returns to AEW last night, and his whole thing or whatever. I'm not sure if Jon Moxley's a free agent, but if he is, and he's able to go just for that one time to Rumble, although Steph and Roman are fighting each other, that still would be an opening like, oh my gosh, if Shield needs to come back, it can happen. And that's just me because I really want the Shield to come back. I need new Shield shirts. But
Word.
it can happen. Like if now, especially if WWE is really mentioning other not promotion, I'm gonna say publication, like you wrote the script. Promotion that which has never been done before unless they acquired it. Opportunities are endless at this point.
That sounds great.
Right, I'm like, I don't want to get my hopes up, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like, I don't want my hopes up to be.
It sounds really good.
It all sounds awesome, but it's like, I don't want my hopes up. I don't know.
It could be that thing where wrestling Twitter be like write-in narratives, and then it sounds great, and we love it, and we believe it, and then it don't happen, and we be mad.
I need that guy that was leaking all the ending of the pay-per-views, like back when CM Punk was champion. I need his ass to get back on Reddit because that was like, I'm like, who's going to lose? My heart's racing. If so, I'm like, all right, bet. If he got all the information, like, you know, that man, like, literally had, like, this big man calling the FBI because they said that he was interfering with business code and they thought that it was somebody on the inside.
Kayfabe was dead, so he needs to stop at this point.
Like, some people thought it was CM Punk. Some people thought it was Jeff Jarrett trying to get back at it. Like, I was like, what the? Like, this is somebody who got fired who still knows somebody just leaking the information. Like, let's be real here. Like, Vince McMahon probably released somebody he didn't know was being released, and they were like, all right, you fuck up my money, I'm gonna mess up your shit. AJ Lee is gonna beat all three Total Divas at Hell in a Cell. I don't care what it says. I'm gonna put it on Twitter so that y'all know, and now they can't change the shit because the match is happening. I need him back. I need him to be like Cody Rhodes entering at number 29 in Royal Rumble. That's it. That's all I need you to do. I need you to do nothing else.
Don't spoil it for me. I want to be surprised.
That's how I am.
And that's the thing too. I want to be surprised because
the only time I would like a surprise.
Like, I wore my CM Punk shirt at the Royal Rumble before the pandemic, hopefully. But like when Edge came out, I was like, okay, I'm satisfied. To hell with everything else that I saw.
Who do y'all see winning the men's or the women's Rumble though? Which is so crazy. Because I didn't see Edge winning last year.
Nah. I feel like this year for women, although of course my money is always with the good sis Bianca, I feel like it's gonna be if Twitter universe and wrestling universe on Twitter is loud enough, I feel like they're gonna give it to Liv.
Okay.
I feel like they're gonna give it to Liv. Who do I see winning? I have no idea, but I feel like they will give it to Liv because I feel like people are getting kind of tired of this whole run around between Bianca, Liv, and Becky, and then you got Doudrop in the mix and whatever. But they can't just give it to somebody randomly too. Or they might just go with this angle of Charlotte can pick her opponent because she wins, and then I'll really be upset.
Oh, do you know how mad I would be if Charlotte wins?
Like, how do y'all, like, to me, honestly, and I don't want to bank my money on this, but the itch in my stomach, like, the way that the storyline says, I remember when Bayley first got injured. So do I imagine Bayley possibly coming back to win? Yes. Another person that's due to come back, and shout out to this comment, because I was thinking that in my head too. Alexis is supposed to be doing a character change, and I think the perfect character change would be for her to come back at the Royal Rumble, or at least like maybe the Raw before, and then she enters herself in the Royal Rumble. That's the only thing. The men is such a toss-up because I don't know, because secret that they've kept the women, because they were like, all right, you got Summer Rae's back, and we're gonna bring a couple, like, they can toss Tori Wilson in there somewhere, but like the men is such a toss-up. Like, there's so many people that can possibly win this men Royal Rumble, because you're gonna give it to Seth Rollins again? No. The only other person I could see them giving it to, out of 5 people I can say off my head that deserve another run, probably be, it's a toss, Lashley or even Owens. Those are my 2 hands that I could throw in the basket.
I'm so sick of Lashley. I really am.
Really?
But here's the thing: the way they're pushing him, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins because the way they're trying to push him, and now he's kind of done with the Hurt business, and I wouldn't be surprised. I know it upsets you, but can you really be surprised? Because the biggest jaw drop would literally be Kevin Owens.
Give me Kevin Owens.
I would actually love that, especially because everybody thought he was leaving and he stayed. So
right.
Y'all gonna give him the opportunities that he deserves.
Give him what he deserves. Yeah.
Rumble, I think would be perfect because like we want to root for Kevin Owens. I mean, at least I do. Like
fight Kevin, sure. Fight Owens, fight.
Yes, fight Owens, fight.
But yeah, they've kept this men room a secret more than girl. I gotta
See, Courtney knows what's up. She says she's okay with KO winning. So am I. I think that will put him in the like where he needs to be.
See, a lot of people see Lashley like happening because him and Brock Lesnar, and that I don't even want to go into that because the way they treated Big E after he lost, he still hasn't had a rematch. Like that whole thing. Yeah, they have not given him a rematch.
Yeah, Big E has not had a rematch yet.
Shout out to Big E.
That is so cute.
I found him. I thought and then I cleaned my room for the new year and I found him. The box is destroyed. But I was like, oh my God, he's gonna sit on my
Shout out to Funkos.
Yes, I love him. But yeah, Big E definitely deserved better. He at least deserved a solo rematch. And also, it was really because Roman got sick that even Brock Lesnar was even in that match. So I'm always so
which they didn't have to do.
Right. I'm always so curious of how that match would have ended if Brock Lesnar was in there. Because once Brock Lesnar was in there, I was like, okay, Big E, I love you.
Roman would have lost.
Brock's not losing.
Roman definitely would have lost his belt.
Well, good thing
I think it was done. I think that it was the run was going to end with Brock Lesnar.
Or well, we could have had like a double count out type hit or whatever for Roman to keep the belt, or Roman could have kind of like walked away or did something so loose and feel-ish. I'd just be like, oh, well. Because I am invested in this feud between Roman and Brock.
Me too.
Because Brock has a ponytail.
I have fallen in love with Brock Lesnar. I don't know when I become a fan, but I love when he comes out. He's funny.
And he's funny on the mic.
Can we toast to Brock Lesnar being like legit funny on his own?
Right.
He is funny, but he's an introvert too, though.
Oh, how? Although Kyle from Black Wrestling feels that Brock Lesnar should not be on the mic and Paul Heyman is his advocate, and I'm like, me and him.
Yeah, but Paul Heyman can take a break.
I mean, I love Paul Heyman, but Brock can do on his own.
Take a break.
Like Lashley, don't be on the mic. But Brock,
yeah,
right.
I 100% agree with you on that one.
Not Brock, bearding. I love it.
A beard does do wonders.
Yo, beard does wonders. He is comfortable.
Part of it. Maybe that is
yo, when he walked out in a cut up like flannel shirt, I was like, oh, okay, we've entered the comfort zone. We not looking like a UFC wrestler no more. Do you, buddy? You like, I get paid enough money. I'm walking out here with a beard and a ponytail and a cut off shirt, and y'all ain't gonna say shit to me because that's how I'm rolling. That's how I'm doing. Like, I'm gonna walk out here how I feel comfortable. So kudos to that fashion. Flannel's in this season apparently, so
Brock is in this season.
If Brock was to cut his ponytail, I promise y'all we're not like him anymore.
Word.
Oh, so you for sure like it's the ponytail.
It's the ponytail. You know, like when in Space Jam, when John Cena, Lord, I'm tired. When Michael Jordan gave them the special drink, but it was only water and they won. It's the ponytail. Like, you cut the ponytail, you're nothing, Brock. You're nothing.
Courtney agrees with you. It's definitely the ponytail.
Right. It's definitely the ponytail. Shout out to Courtney. Definitely the ponytail.
Yeah, I guess it is. But it's a lot of people that I became fans of, like John Cena, that I never thought I would be a fan of. But when I heard his music hit last year when he came back, I was like, oh my God. What happened to me?
First of all, when I heard Word Life had Mania 35, I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, yo, he done brought back Thugonomics John Cena. I mean, I still feel like that's flawed, but just to hear Word Life was dope.
Yeah, especially when you like literally did not expect it at all.
And to think, it's funny that people talk about that now, and that Word Life was literally like John Cena's era in that of Word Life was literally the stopping point for him getting fired. And that's another thing I want to bring up. Is it weird? I feel like it's not only weird to me, because shout out to my brother Peter, aka Soul Press. We were talking about it over brunch, and he was like, I feel like all the wrestlers that have like made it to the top of the roster were all the ones that were supposed to be fired. Because I learned through the Attitude Era documentary that even The Rock himself said that he was going to pack up his stuff and leave because he didn't think that him as a wrestler was working out. And John Cena in the second episode of Attitude Era 2 said, I was going to be fired. Seth Rollins got on the Stone Cold podcast and said they were ready to let me go because they didn't know what they wanted to do with me. Why are all the successful wrestlers the ones about to be fired?
Well,
that is
The Rock was able to find his voice.
Wait, say again?
The Rock was able to find his voice.
Right.
John Cena was able to whitewash black culture. And for Seth Rollins, I really don't know.
Wait, can we go back to the other?
Can we go back to John Cena for us? Can you say it loud enough for the people in the back?
Are you saying he's guilty of cultural appropriation?
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes, he whitewashed the black culture when it came down to the rapping and stuff. Granted, that's what he listened to.
Listen, him and Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Flash.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I used to you said Grandmaster Flash is Grandmaster Sexy.
No, sorry, Grandmaster Sexy. Sorry, respect to Grandmaster Flash.
R.I.P. to Grandmaster Sexy. But yeah, like they all wore baggy jeans and big chains and doing the signs.
Or was that mid 2000s pop culture, which is also black culture?
No, it was
They were appropriating. Oh snap! My thing is dying. They were appropriating what we grew up on as hip hop people. You understand? Like, yeah, at one point they were whatever, but once it wasn't that anymore, they decided to revamp it in a sense and make it something that it wasn't. But let me go get my charger because it's finna die.
I felt like that was a whole play on to Eminem when John Cena decided to start rapping.
That's when it gets like, I don't know, because when I look back, I think and I see like, okay, it's 2004. Like, that's just what was popular, like wearing oversized t-shirts, all that stuff. Now, was he cultural appropriation? Yes. Hey, Cammy.
Hey, Cammy.
That's the sense right there.
Wow.
See, I have a love-hate relationship with it too. It's always that fine line between this is what everyone likes, so I'm gonna adapt this character because this is gonna get me over, and cultural appropriation. It's like that line of just like, okay, where does John Cena fit on that line? Because I feel like I've never had this conversation before because I always hated John Cena. But now that I'm a fan, I'm like, should we give him a pass? Like, how do we feel?
I mean, it's already been done. So it's like, it's done so many times. Like, think of how many things in wrestling are actually culturally
That's true. Right.
Like,
right.
Tensai showing up with thousands of tattoos after being gone for so many years and being a Japanese wrestler.
Look at Yokozuna. Yokozuna is a whole Samoan.
He's Samoan.
He was over here being a Japanese sumo wrestler. Like, it's been done just because of his weight. Look at Rikishi. Rikishi also had to
Yo, Santino Marella ain't even really Italian. Come on.
Exactly. Like, the cultural appropriation within wrestling is real, and it's something that we don't talk about because it's just like, oh well, it's just the character stuff or whatever.
Yeah, like Carmella's from LA. She ain't from, like, come on.
She's not from Staten Island.
She's not from Staten Island.
She's from some fucking bubblefuck state.
She's from Boston. I think she's from. I don't even think it's Boston. I gotta look it up where she's from, but she's definitely not from Staten Island.
And then this plays back into the stereotype. Yeah. Like when my cousin was watching, I was watching wrestling. She heard Bianca on the mic, and the first thing she said was, "Why they got her up there sounding like a chicken head?"
See?
No, there's a new young lady that's in NXT that people on TikTok are saying the same thing. Mind you, I love her, but they were saying like Black TikTok was not happy. Black wrestling TikTok wasn't happy with her. She has like she has like really long curly hair. I gotta get her name. She has really long curly hair. She has a ponytail. This one girl started a whole thread. It was like, yo, nobody at NXT knows how to lay edges because her lace front, like her hair edges are just over the top. And I was just like, did y'all have to come for her hair? Like, granted, that's a whole nother conversation. I feel like I need to do another Thirsty Thursday for. But the whole hair and makeup situation for the sisters at NXT, Bianca to me was the first lady to get it down. I bought that edge control so quick when I found out that was the edge control she was using. Yep. Are you kidding me? Y'all seen the picture y'all used for Thirsty Thursday? That was the edge control. Listen. The justice for freaking Ember
good
Moon.
edge control.
Yes, like they should have gave Ember Moon the same treatment because they definitely didn't.
Her hair always look crazy, unfortunately, and it's that fine line that we were just talking about, where it's like, okay, if I keep talking about Ember Moon's hair and how it's not laid, am I feeding into that like some sort of, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, okay, but again, girl, why your hair not laid?
Like it was appropriate. It was appropriate when you're on NXT because Mandy Rose said in her Allure interview that a lot of the girls do their own makeup. But like when you get to main roster, bitch, there's people you can hire. I'm not trying to hear it. Like hire me. Like
but remember,
hire me. I'll take a leave of absence and take the road. Like come on. Like you see what I could do, honey. I can help. Like it ain't nothing. But like there's no excuse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse at all. So yes.
So John Cena is a cultural appropriator.
He is.
When he was a rapper.
Love, he's my birthday twin. Like me and him have the same birthday, but
shout out to Taurus. I love y'all.
But yeah, he did. I'm an honest Taurus.
My thing is that if you're gonna be a fan of wrestling, you also have to be real with what you see or what is produced or what is being sent to you guys. You understand? Because there's been like I said earlier, like we supported rape culture. We've supported necrophilia. We supported the whole
Ric Flair twirling his thingy on a flight attendant's child.
Right. Well, we didn't know about it, so we really couldn't support that because we didn't
know. No, but people are still supporting it. I get what you're.
The dark side.
Yeah, even the dark side. Yeah.
So people we really didn't know that. Like, we supported the whole Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Dominic storyline with the whole "he's not your daddy, who's your daddy." We supported the whole like the man in power to kiss my ass club, like
oh my God.
The degrading of women. So of course we're going to support the stereotypes and the cultural appropriation because from a wrestling standpoint, we're in that moment that we're in. We're not thinking of it as anything else but entertainment. Right. But when you go back to look at something, then you see like, yo, well now we're much more in tune to be like, nah, I'm not feeling that. Like, why this person wearing baggy jeans and why this person wearing these big door knocker earrings and having this attitude and rolling their neck and clicking their tongue and snapping their fingers. But before it was just like yeah, like I mean, if they're cool with what they're doing, of course we're going to support you tenfold. But we're also going to be vocal about what we like and what we don't like. Before we weren't like that. Plus, we didn't have the internet and social media as frequent as we have it now.
It's interesting because I remember that it's funny you talk about that because they were talking about like even with that whole plane ride from hell, like, and shout out to RVD. Like, if you're not following him on Instagram, you have to follow RVD.
RVD has retweeted me a few times.
The GOAT, I swear to God. Like between him and New Jack, they're my favorite people to follow on Twitter. But like even he said like R.I.P. New Jack. Like even he said like, yo. We used to get on the plane, girl. God damn it!
I need Bakey back next time because Patricia's not going to be holding this.
Thank you. You need to take the. But I remember
you need to come back next time. Thanks.
I always get everybody waste down. Sorry.
Like, I think it was one of the, I forgot his name. He was a referee, and he said like that was the norm. Like they used to get on a plane, they used to drug each other, they used to take drugs, they used to have women come up to them and they used to get them drunk, and they used to do the drugs and get drunk, and they used to have a way. And they were on the plane the next morning for Raw, but when they went overseas, that wasn't the life they were living. It was a grueling tour. Like a lot of things happened on that plane ride that now you look at it and
it's just disgusting.
It's just disgusting. Like
I
even
mean,
with the whole Terry Reynolds thing, when people were like, people found out, like Twitter went crazy when people found out that don't sell means like don't pay attention to it, because like even the way she said it, she was like, they were like Brock Lesnar showed his erotica and she was like told, like she was like, don't sell it. Like she's programmed in a way, and they were like, why does it seem like every time,
like, why is this okay?
Why is this okay to say don't sell? And she's like, because that's the business. Like you were told like things were gonna happen, and the only thing you could do is just like accept it, but don't sell it. Like don't just pay it any mind. I'm just like, is that really like that was okay then? I guarantee the way they got rid of Velveteen Dream should tell you that's not okay.
No.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
But
And
wait,
so
can we just tap on a Velveteen Dream situation real quick?
Right.
Because I just need to figure out if his situation wasn't similar to Riddle's, where Velveteen Dream was accused of explicitness with a teenager or a minor.
It was with a minor, but he also physically forced himself
on the minor.
But Riddle was just caught messaging, from what I understand, is the biggest difference.
No, I thought it was messaging too with Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, I don't think he physically did anything. I think it was just like messages. It was just
he denied it. Yeah, just like Riddle denied messing with whoever and cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
And we see where Riddle at, and we see where Velveteen is at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah. And I always thought fucking.
I know you didn't ring no gong, but I'm
barefoot guy is a gross ass person. But they was pushing him, and that was gonna be it. Like,
and we see where Dreamer at, right?
But where's Dream now?
I mean, he got fired. I will be very surprised if he comes back from this.
Did y'all not just see that Dreamer offered who did he offer a job over at Impact? Dreamer's still doing whatever he's doing. It was.
Well, wait, are you saying Tommy Dreamer or Velveteen Dream?
No, Velveteen Dreamer. Oh no, Tommy Dreamer.
I said, you see where Matt Riddle is, and I said, you see where Dreamer is.
Yeah,
Riddle was on TV, accused, not even accused. He admitted to doing what he was doing, and he let it roll off the bat. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this whatever the comments and stuff, we don't approve of this, that."
Yeah, because Tommy Dreamer basically said like, "Listen, this day and what did he say? He was like, this day and age, everybody gets offended by everything," and he compared basically like he was basically defending Ric Flair for what he did, and then on top of that, to add insult to injury, he was like, oh, like everything's gonna offend somebody. I'm offending somebody because I have a ponytail and I have gray hair, and that's why. But like, you have to understand everything offends, and it's like, dude, like you should have just shut the fuck up.
Like you should have just shut up because
like, you didn't need to say what he was saying.
Like you need to just shut up. Just be like, hey, back then we did some things that were fucked up.
Period. Just like RVD, shout out to him, where he was basically just like, yo, this is what happened. This shit was fucking crazy. This is what happened. Like, this is how it was back then. It was wild. This is what it was. Tommy Dreamer was defensive of how the wrestling business was being portrayed. So you wanted to defend everything that your hero Ric Flair was doing when you couldn't even just be like, yo, he was wilding. Fucking, you just can't pull your, like, Ric Flair was pulling his dick out.
And mind you, and it was an eye opener because it's like the same thing. Like, you're bringing up the whole Matt Riddle situation versus where Tommy Dreamer is. Like, even back then, like, mind you, Ric Flair did what he did, and he got to go to work the next day. They literally fired Mr. Perfect. They suspended Scott Hall. They like let a whole bunch, like they suspended they fired both Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hemming,
and
Scott Hall, and they gave Goldust a break because I guess all he did was like get up drunk and serenade Terry Reynolds or whatever. But Ric Flair got to get up, put up a suit, and do his storyline the next day. And it's like it's like every job. I'm sorry, but it's who you know. Like,
it's who you know, and like wrestling is that weird. And shout out to Lucas because he always talks about how wrestling is very much like it's family based, it's relationship based. It's who are you liked, are you not liked. By the time this was happening, Ric Flair was is a wrestling god. Like he's about to get fired for shit he's been doing since the fucking 80s. Like that's just not gonna happen. That's why JR. That's why JR was like, well, some people's made and they could do whatever the fuck they want. Like fucking Scott Hall, you clearly have a problem. We should never even hired you in the first place. You doing all of this, like,
and they had just hired him back.
Right. And it was like, okay, you're done. Ric Flair, you're a guy. He was in Evolution at the time. Ric Flair was like, this is shit he was literally doing from jump. I want to ask y'all how y'all feel about him being canceled all of a sudden because of that. I feel like it's weird canceling him when honestly he's been doing this shit. If you read his book, like, I think we all kind of knew Ric Flair was doing this type of shit.
First of all, Ric Flair would sit here and say that he would have all these, like, his whole shtick was styling, profiling, limousine riding, all these women and this, that,
having a bitch with him.
There was no lies told to what he was saying in his promos, but like again, like I said, nobody's gonna be conscious of what is going on because we look at it from an entertainment standpoint. And of course, all the women are gonna sit here and want to throw themselves at Ric Flair because he's Ric fucking Flair. Like, you are showing off in limousines and going off in jets, and his 30 for 30. I was sympathizing with him. Like, Ric Flair was one part. Like, he had to separate the two, and he was so depressed.
And he did give his life to wrestling. He did
that his normal life wasn't as stylish as his regular life. And even with Charlotte talking, she was like, "Yeah, my dad was just like not really there as my dad. Like he loved the Ric Flair persona, but whatever with the Ric Flair or whatever his last name is." And it's that just wasn't him,
right?
And he didn't know how to cope with that. He didn't know how to cope with the downtime, with the silence and stuff like that, or whatever. And then around the time when he joined Evolution, he was literally moping and stuff behind stage. Like, they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't want to fire him because Triple H was scared the worst would happen.
Yeah, because they've already seen what happens when they start firing legends or letting legends go off to what they need to do. Like, even it's funny because Jake the Snake talks about it all the time. Like, being a wrestler back then was a dark road. Like, you're talking about people who are on the road 325 days out of the year. And like, they either have their vices or they either have their temptations. Like, some of them did it, like heavy ass drugs. Some of them drank. Yep. You see what happened with Scott Hall. You see what happened with Jake the Snake. Like, it was a hard time. So that's where I kind of fall into like a up and down with Ric Flair. Cause I'm like, I have such a hard time just being like, yo, you did this wrong, you did something. But then I have to remember the times you were in. Like, you were not near your family. You had a full family. Just like the things that Owen Hart, God rest his soul, that he wanted to leave the business for are the things that a lot of those wrestlers did not leave the business for. Owen Hart was on his way out the door to be with his family. A lot of those wrestlers weren't willing to do that because this is money, this is notoriety, they're already at their peaks. This is where they're at. It's a dark road. And it's like, you see it now because it's funny because the whole John Cena and him being with Nikki Bella thing was such an argument because John Cena didn't want to have kids for the right reasons. Like, he's seen it. Like, he's heard from legends that are like, listen, kid, you're the next best thing. And he's probably seen what their family's like. Like, how many conversations you think he had with Ric Flair? And he sees that he can't even, like, his daughter is a high school student having to be in the crowd because he can't see his daughter. So all that stuff is being
lost. But I feel like with that, that's also because you're scared to want to sit and settle down or whatever. Angelo Dawkins just had a kid. Montez Ford has 2 kids. Roman Reigns has 5 kids. But they just have a child.
Randy Orton took on 3 kids and had 2 more.
So, like, the wrestling business now can cater to that. Like, they look out for that. Like, Becky Lynch talks about how she fucking breastfeeds her daughter and goes on stage and not on stage, but like she goes out for the wrestling match and women felt like they had to quit wrestling when they got pregnant.
No,
like,
that's
true.
True.
Like different, like a completely different world. And even with the men, like Ric Flair lived his gimmick. So imagine how fun your life is as Ric Flair, and then you're going home to be a dad. Like, it's like adrenaline down. Like, some people's not
your problem
for that.
But that's your personal problem, because at the end of the day, you live in your gimmick, you're having sex with these women, you're not really, if you are in relationships with them, you being a typical man out here, impregnating these women, not trying to forgetting that there's a responsibility if you don't use a condom. Forgetting that there's a responsibility if they don't want to sit here and go for an abortion or get a Plan B pill. Forgetting that there's a responsibility that when they have this baby, you're going to be sitting here paying child support, or be in court fighting for child support for the next 18 years.
You know who you're reminding me of? You're reminding me of what happened with Brian Pillman. Like, if you ever watched that Dark Side of the Ring with Brian Pillman, like, I never knew. And it's like, you hear about what happened with Brian Pillman and like what drove him to what he did, but like the fact that he was going through what he was going through, and the fact that it still reached, so like, first of all, if you ever watch Brian Pillman's son, like, they're trying to give him like that push, but he's not like his dad. But like, imagine, and that's what always intrigues me about wrestlers' kids who become wrestlers, like the Charlotte Flairs, the Brian Pillmans, the Kurt Hawkins, sorry, not Kurt Hawkins, the Mr. Perfect son becoming a wrestler, like all these wrestlers, like, what are their parents telling them about the business? Like, even Billy Gunn, like, both his kids are wrestling with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've watched that world from a different era, because all these wrestlers, you realize all these wrestlers, kids that are wrestlers now, were watching their parents be wrestlers back then. And they know the lifestyle, and they know the road, and they know the toll. So it's like, even with Charlotte Flair in that mind, how is she? I realize that's probably how she is, because she has a dad who was how he is. But like, I wonder how that plays a role.
But for Charlotte Flair, she didn't want to be a wrestler.
Right.
The only reason why she became a wrestler is because her brother David, who was actually a wrestler, and he committed suicide. Mm-hmm. So because they were so close, she decided to live out his dream. And in her living out his dream, it made her be like, okay, I like this or whatever. I don't feel like Charlotte is a bad person in real life.
Right.
I just feel like she carries her persona very well, her character very well in the ring. But I feel like she can also separate the two.
Right.
It's the struggle when you can't separate the two. That's where the problem lies. Like, if I'm a wrestler, right? And let's just say my persona is, well, I'm always going to be a Brooklyn bitch, right? Let's just say, I can't use that, I'm always from Brooklyn. But let's just say my persona is some type of nerdy, real, docile, timid type person. But when I get in the ring, I'm going to be vicious and kick your ass because you picked on the nerd or whatever. But when I'm outside of the ring and I'm in that persona and I'm me, like, I'm just regularly me, I'm very personable, I'm very out there. Like, I would have to learn how to separate the two. This is not the 80s, 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s anymore, where you have to cover up and be yourself. I mean, not be yourself because you're worried about kayfabe. Kayfabe is long gone. Like, Undertaker used to walk around as Undertaker, like, used to be his gimmick. We knew nothing of Mark Calloway. Who? Right. Who's Mark? Huh?
I missed that time, to be honest.
Me too. To be honest,
I didn't need to know who Mark Calloway was, and now because of social media,
I did miss that time because when you see on social media where these people are actually friends or whatever, and I missed it because I didn't need to know that Becky and Charlotte were not friends anymore in real life.
You know what is funny too? I said the same thing because even y'all just talked about AJ Lee being first of all, great episode, by the way. Y'all just talked about AJ Lee. Like, I remember when Twitter blew up because she was hanging out with CM Punk. Because people were like, oh, maybe they're just trying to start like their storyline again and blah, blah, blah. And then this other user was like, no, they're fucking. Like, they're fucking in real life. I'm from Chicago. I was at that game. Like, she was here and they were holding hands. And then it turned, mind you, when Tumblr was popping, shots at Tumblr, because I miss Tumblr. When Tumblr was popping, there was a user, and it's funny because now she's a TikToker. She was literally submitting news about what CM Punk and AJ Lee were doing next. And I'm like, these are two people that need their privacy. CM Punk's doing completely different with his storyline. She just became the Women's Divas champion. Why the fuck are you so invested in them as a couple. Like their storyline is done, but then it turned into a thing where people were like, "Oh, they're so cute. Oh, wait, he was with Lita. What happened?" I'm like, I didn't even know CM Punk was dating Lita until he started dating AJ Lee. That's how blind I was, and I'm like, who cares? I care about AJ Lee dropping these pipe bombs and fighting the Divas Totals cast. That's what I care about. I don't care about who she's with or dating or married. I don't care. But like the internet is obsessed with the inside world of wrestling and the characters to the point where, and you know what? It's funny. I can't even go that far. I can go back to being young and finally getting AOL internet and watching Bite This to hear Matt Hardy call in and berate Lita and call her Amy. Dude. And that was real.
And shout out to Matt Hardy because he's always ahead of his time. I don't think he gets enough props because Jeff Hardy's the more popular Hardy boy. But Matt Hardy be ahead of his time. He knew that
he was because he capitalized on the internet thing,
right? And even if you know the Hardy boy story, like he's the one that was like, "Let's make this a business. Let's pursue this." And Jeff was, like, "Fuck it, I'm down for the ride." Like, but they knew what was up. Like they was airing each other out before that was like a thing,
right? They were the shade room before the shade room.
Like, Matt was, he found out his bitches cheating with Edges. He got on his blog and blasted them. That's what we
Yo, he got on, and it was funny.
Oh, hell no.
You have to look for the YouTube video of him literally explaining what happened when he found out that Amy was cheating. He has a fucking cardboard cutout, and he's like, he got the cardboard stand up. He's eating cereal. He's like, "Listen up, you stupid." And he's cursing her out. He's fully going off, and then he's explaining the story, and he's yanking the cardboard box out of bed, and he's like insulting her. I'm like, back in the day, you're looking at that, and you're like, he's crazy. But if you watch that shit back now, that shit is hilarious. I'm sorry. Like
he's vintage because everything he wanted to say to her, he couldn't because he probably would have really ragged her ass. And then he'd be like, "Oh my god, he's a domestic abuser. Like he's a, So he was vintage.
Like
he had to do. We had to do.
I mean, we could all like what he was going through is fucked up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's crazy. And then like, for them to fire him, I was like, yeah, y'all messed up. Like, y'all know if y'all know how he is, why would y'all fire him? Like, why would y'all do that? Like, y'all could have just left it the way it was. The way he popped up in Jersey, y'all could have been like, well, Matt Hardy was just here. We got to get more update on the story. Y'all could have played it. Y'all didn't play that well. Because I would have played it like he was coming back Monday to do it again. Y'all just kept, like, the commentators didn't say nothing. He grabbed the mic. He was like, WWE can kiss my ass. Y'all made yourselves look stupid.
They really did.
Y'all didn't know. Y'all don't like Bruce Blanchard. I blame him because he was just like, "Don't nobody say nothing." No, you should have been like, "Y'all need to pretend like he's coming back on Monday. Y'all need to pretend this was planned, and y'all need to just keep the kayfabe." Nope. I think WWE helped them break kayfabe, and I think they're starting to realize in the age of social media, nothing's really kayfabe.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I have no idea.
Well, this was a fun episode. P, I hope you enjoyed your birthday celebration.
I did. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, too. I really appreciate it.
You might as well ring one more time because this wine's not going
Well, we're each going to do one last thing that we want to take a shot to before our next one, which is February 10th, streaming live from all channels. What do y'all want to take a shot to?
I'm going to go first because I'm in go mode. So once I'm in go mode, I don't stop.
I'm last, so yeah, do your thing, girl.
April 9th is my second annual Take Up Your Space, sis, brunch and panel.
April 9th? Everybody.
When tickets go on sale, I need y'all to make sure y'all get some tickets. Y'all support, y'all pop out. We're going to be melanin out, okay? Black women, people of color, just come out and show out. Shout out to my besties, Tanisha and Keishana, for taking this ride with me again. And it's only going to be lit from here. So I'm shouting out to that because this planning stuff is not easy. But I'm doing it. It's going to be bigger than the last time. So toast to that.
We're adding that to the calendar.
Yep. And it's in Brooklyn.
So y'all heard that. Save the date. April 9th, Brooklyn. Unapologetically eclectic. Krista B's brand throwing an event, so make sure y'all follow her and
Yes, follow me on Unapologetically Eclectic Instagram. All the updates and stuff will be up there.
Love it. I love it. You said you're gonna go last, Seindole?
Yes.
All right.
I feel like I've talked enough.
I want to toast to this year because it has already been wild for me, and this is usually like the start of my birthday, and like it's a whole new thing. But this was the weird year. But I want to toast to just focusing, making all of my wildest ass dreams come true, especially with those wrestling girls. Staying focused and just making all this shit happen. And I also want to just toast to everybody that supported us and supported me during these last 2 weeks and for my birthday, and that is here for Thirsty Thursday. So just, I want to cheers to life.
That's actually a focus song. You heard me, P?
What'd you say?
Cheers to Life is actually a soca song. I'll send it to you.
Send that to me.
Yes. All right, Seindole.
Okay. So biggest thing is, first of all, I want to shout out to you ladies because I'm gonna get a little emotional. And P knows how I get emotional. P knows that when me and her became friends and we both found out that we liked wrestling, the first thing I said to her was I kind of keep it to myself because I don't know how people feel about wrestling. And since I've been around you ladies, you guys have just opened your doors to me. You always try to invite me. P knows my schedule is the worst schedule on planet Earth. I wish I was a more open person, but you guys never shy away from inviting me. You're always trying to get me to come on the podcast. You're always trying to make me a guest host. I remember when I first got on, it was actually Super Bowl Sunday, and I was cooking, and Pat was like, "Do you want to be on the podcast with us?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm doing it." And it's just like the inviting, the warmth. I just met Krista. I could definitely consider Krista a friend now. My hope for this year is to just keep doing more of this, keep bringing communities together, keep putting my input in. I can rant all day, but I feel like when it has people to talk to about it, it makes things better. And I hope with this platform, there needs to be more Black queens not afraid to talk about wrestling, because I told Pat, I saw a tweet that said that it was hard to be a Black female wrestling fan, and I want to change that narrative. You shouldn't be afraid to like what you like because other people don't like what you like or don't like what they like. So you don't have nothing else to drink. We gonna drink for you. Hold on. So we're gonna cheers to that this year. You guys are going on strong. You guys are gonna be going on stronger. I'm always gonna be your biggest supporter. I'm always gonna be your biggest hype girl, no matter what. You're gonna say in my eulogy like she was a big fan of those wrestling girls. Right.
It's gonna be on a tombstone.
It's gonna be on my tombstone. Honorary, but
honorary TWG.
Always.
Yeah. I also want to shout out the supporters that literally have been hanging out on this live Thirsty Thursdays. You know, putting in your comments, putting your input. This was the most fun I've had since the year started, and it's only been about 19 days. So thank you guys so much for having me on. This was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. Yes. And again, shout out to all those who left questions, supporters, and don't be afraid to add me on all social medias.
Please.
I rant. Krista will tell you my TikTok's a good goddamn time.
TikTok's lit.
It's a great time. Your TikTok, your Instagram, girl, everyone will get inspired in some way by Seindole's Instagram and her TikTok. So make sure you follow her. It's a great time. It's entertaining, and you put that work in. That, and I wish I had that fucking discipline, because like I know how long it takes to create them shit.
Yeah, girls, these edits ain't fun, child. Like these edits are
fun, but we do it. We here.
We here.
We love you guys. Thank you to guys for tuning in. We jumping off because it's Law and Order Thursday.
Yes, we love you guys. Please tweet us. Let us know who you want to be on next month. Next one's February 10th. We love you guys.
Later, y'all. Bye.
Bye.